Hey guys, Ibby here, and today, since I have nothing better to do, I decided I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I have made a decision that I want to change this channel a little bit, and I want to change the content that I produce. I'm not planning on making Lego videos anymore. I'm planning on doing critical reviews video, because when I grow up, I want to go into writing and filmmaking, and I figured that doing critical reviews on a channel would be a great way to begin working on it. And I'm not just gonna. Basically, what I'm gonna do is gonna be reviewing video games, movies, books, any piece of media, and I will review it. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited to start it. So, to start off, I'm gonna do a Doctor Who video. This is a Lego TARDIS I built. Doctor Who is my favorite TV show. It has been for some time. I'm waiting for the new season to come back. Peter Capaldi is great so far as the Doctor. I really like him. He's awesome. Even though Doctor Who is my favorite TV show and it has produced some of the best of television I have ever seen, it has also produced some of the worst of television I have ever seen. And today, we're going to be counting down, in my opinion, what are the top 5 worst Doctor Who stories of all time. Now, keep in mind, this is my opinion. Some of these episodes you might actually like. I know there might be one on this list that people will get really annoyed that I put on here, but it's just my opinion. I just didn't like the story. And if you disagree with me, so be it. And basically, let's just begin with EB's top 5 worst episodes of Doctor Who. Number 5. Pyramids of Mars. Yes, I just said I did not like Pyramids of Mars. Let me explain just a little bit. I was disappointed with the Pyramids of Mars. I didn't like the plot. I didn't like the villain. I'm sorry. I'm going to get tons of hate and scorn for saying I didn't like Pyramids of Mars, but I didn't. It kind of spits in the face of what's been said about Doctor Who before. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. The villain, he's so boring. All he does is... I'm sitting in a chair right now, so I'll demonstrate. He sits in his chair and says, "I will rule the world one day. I'll give awesome speeches." Don't get me wrong, Sutek, he gives awesome speeches. That one he gives in part 4 about how he finds everything that's evil to be good. That's an awesome speech, seriously. But, I still didn't like him. The fact that he was imprisoned, he didn't do anything, he just sat there. "I will rule the world." That's all he did for 3.5 episodes, and when he finally gets up and does something, in less than a minute, the Doctor's able to defeat him. This is supposed to be a god, and he was defeated in less than a minute, and at literally the push of a button. That's embarrassing, and a lot of people love this story. Number 4. Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. My god! This story is terrible. So, a little bit of background. Steve Thompson, he began writing for Doctor Who with the script The Curse of the Black Spot, which is also a very bad story. And then he went to write on for Sherlock, and he surprisingly did better there. He wrote The Blind Banker. The Blind Banker wasn't anything special, but it was actually surprisingly good. And then he wrote The Brenneback Fall, which is said to be one of the best episodes of Sherlock ever created. Which is surprising. I didn't know he could create good content like that. Steve Thompson, the writer, I mean. So, I guess my hopes were a little bit higher after seeing what he's done on Sherlock. Then Journey to the Center of the TARDIS came out. It was terrible. Seriously. The plot twist did nothing. It was boring. It was just... The ending made no sense. It's just a... What? You know, I'm surprised that after the disaster that was Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, Stephen Moffat had the balls to bring Steve Thompson back again for Season 8. And he wrote Time Heist. And now, I didn't like Time Heist either. I might be in the minority about that. I know people like Time Heist. I found it boring. I think that Steve Thompson still fails to make a good Doctor Who script, and I hope he doesn't return in the future. So... let's hope that Stephen Moffat never brings back Steve Thompson for Doctor Who, but let's hope Stephen Moffat brings back Steve Thompson for Sherlock. Number 3. Let's Kill Hitler. Just by the title of the episode, I want to watch it. It's called Let's Kill Hitler. You want to watch something like that. Don't lie. Then I watched the episode. I was thinking it would be something like a classic episode. A lot of people seem to forget this, but in the classic Doctor Who era, there were times when the Doctor didn't fight aliens from the world. He didn't fight these big, evil alien rulers who wanted to destroy the universe or just rule everything. At times, he would fight historical figures. They could be real or made up. For example, he didn't necessarily fight Marco Polo, although we will never know. Marco Polo is a lost story. All 4 parts are gone. But he was with Romans, with cavemen, and he was also with a fictional character called Salamander in the serial The Enemy of the World, which I would recommend you watch. The Enemy of the World. It was pretty good. And we could have had an episode like that. What I want is more Doctor Who stories that are a lot more like the classic series episodes. And when they promoted Series 8 like that, it kind of got my... There's somebody downstairs. There's somebody downstairs right now. And when they promoted Series 8 like that, I was excited. And I didn't think they met up with classic Doctor Who enough, but I think they tried. And it still does have those classic Doctor Who bits in there. And this episode could have been that. It could have been like classic Doctor Who. But what did we get? Tons of jokes. Most of them aren't really even that funny, in my opinion. Barely any Hitler. Tons of subplots that are kind of boring. And after all, just a terrible and embarrassing and disappointing episode. I can't. Stephen Moffat is one of my favorite writers in Doctor Who. He's probably my favorite writer of all time. And to see this kind of content come out of him is embarrassing. I guess I could see why. He was working at Sherlock, on Sherlock at the same time. So, you're somewhat forgiven? I don't know. Number 2. The Snowmen. I'm not gonna lie. Doctor Who and Christmas have not been getting along very recently. We had... Okay. Shut up, family! The Christmas Invasion and The Time of the Doctor were what I actually consider good Christmas specials. The rest have been either average or just terrible. In my opinion, the worst of the worst is The Snowmen. And the idea behind it is that there is this snow that makes these evil snowmen. They want to kill you. That's the premise. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, except for the fact that the snowmen don't do anything. They just sit there and go like, we're evil snowmen. They don't actually say we're evil snowmen, but that's all they do. They just stand around and make evil grinning faces. That's all they do throughout the entire... Is that my eyebrow? Oh my god! I'm sorry, I got distracted by what? I got distracted by I'm sorry. Anyways, as I was saying, snowmen don't do anything. The villain... Bleh! Don't like the villain. The Great Intelligence... I don't know... I've never seen the original story with the Great Intelligence being introduced, so I can never understand if the Great Intelligence is being used greatly here in this story, although most likely he's not. And there's just tons of other stuff. There are some things I like. So far, the episodes I've listed have a few things I like. I think all of the episodes that are on this list have some things I like. But overall, I still find them terrible episodes. This is probably the worst Christmas special ever put out. Not too long ago, it was Voyage of the Damned, but... Shut up, family! Shut up! It used to be Voyage of the Damned, but I changed my opinions on that. I think Voyage of the Damned isn't that bad. But anyways, it's time for the number 1 worst episode of Doctor Who, in my personal opinion. This one got mixed reactions. There are people who say, yeah, this episode's awesome. And then those who say, this episode sucked. I'm on the side that said it sucked. So there will be people who agree with me and disagree with me. Number 1, Asylum of the Daleks. This is just an embarrassing episode overall. I don't know where to begin. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me bring in the visual. It's very lame visual. Shut up, family! Very lame visual. Not really. A Lego Dalek that I've built. One of my favorite builds. Lego Dalek. Exterminate. We could have seen classic versions of these. Like classic Daleks from the oldie times. What do we get? Nothing resembling that whatsoever. I think they stopped. The divorce subplot. No. No. Why was that even there? The Daleks didn't do anything. There's a bunch of things that are forced, like Amy and Rory suddenly get back together, yay! And the divorce just doesn't work. I might do a separate video on why it doesn't work overall. The twist with Clara or Oswald being Dalek, that was nice. I like that. But then there's the fact that Daleks suddenly have a sense of beauty. What? Then they find it offensive to kill other Daleks? What? They give these emotionless beings emotion. Like, let me bring in another Dalek. This is the special weapons Dalek, I know, but oh, this was actually in the episode, doing absolutely nothing. They find it offensive for a Dalek to do this. That's what happened in Remembrance of Daleks. A Dalek did this. That was the lame visual, I know. But it comes out of nowhere. And in that very same episode, they blow up a planet full of Daleks, killing Daleks. And they find it offensive to kill Daleks. What? And then they do this whole lame thing that goes nowhere, where the Daleks forget who the Doctor is, and later on in the Christmas special, they suddenly remember who he is. And people tried defending it, saying that this will somehow make the Daleks more powerful and menacing. No, it doesn't. Because the Daleks were scared of the Doctor, they became stronger. This guy existed because the Daleks were scared of the Doctor and became stronger. Now that they don't know who it is, we can't see more guys like this. I'm glad that they got rid of that stupid idea, because now we can actually improve on stuff. So, that was my list of what I think are the top 5 worst Doctor Who episodes of all time. I know many people will be... Hold on. I know many people will be angry that I put Pyramids of Mars on here, and there will be mixed reactions of my inclusion of Asylum of the Daleks. But it's just my personal premise on what the worst of the show is. And if you like some of these episodes, I'm fine with that. I just don't agree with your logic. There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. So, I might do a top 5 best for the classic and new series. No. Just only time will tell. So, what are your worst episodes of Doctor Who in your opinion? Let me know. And goodbye. I'm going to push the record button.